Well, hey everyone, we're making our way through Genesis. This week we are going to be reading chapters 5 through 10, and in it is the total story of Noah. Now, there's lots to be revealed about God's character, who he is, how he works in our lives as we study the flood, as we study the covenant, as we study the repopulation of the earth. But if we go to chapter 6, here's the verse that I wanted to highlight on as part of my devotional and reflection. Verse 6 in chapter 6 says, "The Lord regretted that he made human beings on earth, and his heart was deeply troubled." Now that is a deeply loaded verse. That's not something we actually see in any other place in the Bible, that God was sorry or God regretted. That's a part of his nature's character that doesn't really line up with the rest of what we know about God. God is in total control. God knows everything that was and is to come. He's in control of that. So how can somebody that knows what was and knows what is to come have regret? Well, it's the study of the entire narrative of creation and Noah that actually gives us insight into the regret. God's not regretting that Noah existed. He's regretting that humanity, human beings, Adam and Eve, all the generations up until Noah at that point, couldn't understand this perfect trust relationship. Time and time again, we see it in the first 4 chapters where people were given this perfect relationship, and then they said, you know what, I want to add on my own insight. Adam and Eve wanted to have the knowledge of good and evil. Cain didn't like that his sacrifice wasn't going to be accepted, and we start straying from God. In fact, even in the first part of chapter 6, we see this narrative about the Nephilim and how there were the sons of God that intermarried with the daughters of earth, and were those angels and humans coming together, just creation rebelling against perfect trust. And God looks at it all and goes, I just have this deep regret. I have this deep sorry that people can't exist always having perfect relationship and trust with me. And the reflection is not that God looks back and regrets you and I, it's that he regrets that we can't exist in the place that he designed for us. And so as we go through our days and as we go through this study, I think the thing to consider and to really think through is, what are the places in my life where if God was to look at it, he loves me unconditionally. He sent his son to die for me while I was still a sinner. But there's that space where God goes, I'm so broken by that that's still in your life. Would you consider giving that over to me and just trusting that my way is better? So great reflection to go through. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments in our Facebook group. So if you're not part of the Facebook group, make sure you join so you can leave a comment. And let's hear what God is saying to you as we read the story of Noah in Genesis 5 through 10.